Okay. Sangye cheda zoye jonam la janjo bardo dane gerso che. La ye jeje gebe sanam ge dola benjere sangye drubara sho. Ye cheda zoye jonam janjo bardo dane gerso che. La ye jeje gebe sanam ge Benjere zange do bara sho zange chedan zoge janan jenju bardo dane gyabzo je dage cheje gebe sanam gi dola benjere zange do bara sho. Okay, mandala. So Je bora sho ida mungurura medala kamniya daya. Okay, thank you. So very good to see all of you here once again. Let me just go through. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So once again, because this is a Dhamma talk, so it's not just about learning something new, but learning something. You may learn something new, you may not learn something new, but whatever you have heard today, or is to be used for the um, um, transforming the mind. Okay, so keep this in mind. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you. So we are basically, it's not like a university class where you will learn something new. Yeah, you may learn something new. You may hear something new. You may not hear something new, but it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the goal here is to transform the mind. So you must listen with the idea to transform your mind. So whatever I listen here today, let this help me to transform my mind. There was this story during Atisha's time. So one, two geshes, two Kadamba geshes. So Kadambas are basically followers of Atisha. So one Kadamba geshe, he was very well learned, very well respected, and much learned. And there was another geshe, Kadamba geshe, who was teaching Dharma, Lamrim actually. So the one who is more popular and more senior, he attended the class of the other one who is considered not very well. I mean, a little bit, lower than him, so to speak. So then people asked him, and he always goes to attend the teaching whenever the younger one gives the teaching. And then people start complaining to him, saying, "Why do you go to someone younger than you? He's younger than you, and then you are much elder and you are much more learned." And then his answer was this: that he said, "I attend the teaching not to hear something new. Okay, whenever I attend his teaching, I don't hear something new because he knows everything already. So it's not when I attend his teaching, I don't hear something new, but I learn something new." So the exact Tibetan word is I understand something new. Okay, so therefore, knowing, hearing a new word, I mean, hearing something and learning something or understanding something is totally different. Understanding here means applying that to your practices and being able to transform. That is what understanding here means. And the transformation of the mind. Yeah. So what is the best, most perfect transformation of the mind? That is the mind of the Buddha, enlightened being. And right now we don't have the enlightened mind, but what we can do is we can simulate, copy what the Buddha has. So in a simulated form, we try to practice the Buddha's enlightened mind. And the best of the, Buddha has many different mind, many different, let's say, thoughts, right? And of all of the thoughts, all of the mind, so-called mind, mental factors, the most important is bodhicitta. And so here we try to generate bodhicitta, even though it's not the genuine, not the genuine bodhicitta, but in a simulated form, we try to achieve, we try to generate bodhicitta. And bodhicitta basically means to achieve enlightenment, to achieve Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. So even though it's not a genuine bodhicitta right now, but we simulate it, we generate it through practice. Yeah. Now, so visualize. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that have the bodhisattva's motivation. Yeah, the motivation to benefit all sentient beings. So, if you visualize benefiting other sentient beings, achieving whatever you do here, basically listening to the Dhamma here for 1 hour, 2 hours, dedicate that for the sake of all sentient beings. Then this 1 hour will become a bodhisattva's practice. Okay, now I'll come to the main point. So I'll just refresh our memories from where we left last week. Yeah. So you go, according to this book, Words of My Perfect Master, you go through the Ngonjo. And I told you last time, Ngonjo here means to think about the precious human life, impermanence, refuge, bodhicitta, and then the Buddhahood, etc. So you have to think about that. That's what it means by go through all the Ngonjo or preliminaries. Yeah. And then you start reading the book, Calling the Teacher from Afar. It's not a book, it's just a few pages. Yeah. It's basically a prayer dedicated to the Guru. Then the first visualization, the main visualization. So there are a few steps. So the first of the main visualization is to transform yourself into your ordinary body, basically your ordinary body into the body of the Vajrayogini. Yeah. The main thing is that Vajrayogini is like a tent. So the tent is there if you look from afar, but if you go to the exact go near the tent, it's empty. Basically, there's nothing inside. From afar, it looks like a very big house, but if you go nearby, then the tent is empty. So like that, the Vajrayogini that you are visualizing yourself as is also empty, empty nature. So this is getting you closer to emptiness, the ultimate truth of emptiness. It's not emptiness, the real emptiness, but it's trying to get you closer to understanding emptiness. So therefore, you visualize different form of empty nature, like the empty like a tent, empty like a cup, like etc. So this is So visualize that you're transformed into Vajrayogini, but even though the Vajrayogini is there, but if you observe and try to find out, then it is not, ultimately, it is not never to be found. You cannot find the Vajrayogini. So therefore, it is there, but not there. So this kind of duality or non-duality, if you like, this is known as the outer emptiness or outer enclosure of empty, as it is called here. So that is known as the outer emptiness or outer layer, basically. But externally, you remind emptiness. Okay. Now, you will apply the same thing internally. Okay, internally, what you have something called the central channel. So you have the lalana on the. So okay, anyway, so there's three channels. Okay, three channels. Think of the channel like a. The channel is the three channels, the central channel. So we will focus on that one. So the central channel is the size of straw for a boba tea, that kind of size. And it starts from um, um, so for this purpose, it starts from the navel, and then ends at the crown, at the head, from navel to the head, crown. But it's not very strong, very hard. It's very flimsy. It's very subtle. The channel, the central channel with inside you. And so if you are to blow on it or maybe just touch on it, it's gonna just think of it like a bubble, yeah, like a bubble when you blow on a soap or something, and the bubble comes. The bubble is there, but if you touch it, it just goes like that. And so very subtle, flimsy kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, that kind of channel is from the navel to the crown is there. Yeah. So for this practice, the bottom actually goes a little bit below the navel. So four fingers size below the navel. So it doesn't stop on the navel, a little bit below to the navel. It does not go all the way to the sacred parts, and there's no opening. Okay, and usually there would be an opening. So there's no opening; it's closed. Four fingers below the navel. Okay, but the top is opening. It opens up at the crown. The top is open at the crown, like a branch of a tree, but the bottom is not open like a root of a tree. It's not open. It's closed. So the term we use here is usually called the aperture. So aperture is basically if you have you use a camera. So when the camera, when it tries to take a picture, the lenses inside opens up to take more light. It opens up, and after you click, when you click it, it opens up and then it closes. If you want more exposure, more light in your picture, the aperture usually stays long. The shutter stays a little bit longer, and then when basically if you take a night shot, it takes longer, and when the shot is over, it closes. So just like that, the aperture or the opening in your crown is like that. So there is an opening that if you know how to turn on the aperture, then the crown, the crown chakra will open up, and then you can transmit or emit light. You can receive light. You can receive blessings. You can receive or you can transmit your consciousness and other things from yourself to an external object or part through the crown. Now, within that central channel, it's called avaduti in Sanskrit. So in Tibetan, we call it Dza Uma. Dza Uma basically means the central channel. So anyway, we call it central channel. The central channel, within the central channel, around your chest or your heart level, but in the middle. Okay, so basically, let's go with chest. Around your chest, there is the drop of the bindu. So bindu means spot or a drop. So the bindu. So last week we talked about the bindu. You know, the Indian women, they have some spot, some red dot on their head. That is called a bindu. So bindu means a dot, a spot, a drop, etc. A point, a marker, like that. So there is a marker, green bindu or green drop, green spot, which represents the energy within your body, within yourself. Yeah. And on top of the green bindu, there is the letter Shri, okay, a red Shri sitting on the green bindu. So basically, the green bindu is the energy, or you can also call it the wind energy, okay? And on top of the wind energy, there sits the letter Shri, and the Shri, red Shri, green bindu, or the green spot, representing energy. On top of the green spot, there is the letter Shi, which is red in color, which that represents your mind, your consciousness. Yeah, and so visualize like that. And that the letter Shi is, don't think of that letter Shi like something drawn on the paper, but very much alive, almost like it's alive, living, and it's fluttering, and it's living, and it's moving, not moving as in like, moving here and there, but just like very much alive. So I sent the picture of letter Shi in the group chat, so you can find it there in our messaging here. So you can find it there. Anyway, so when I said the Shi is very much alive, think of it like a flag, flag in a very outside, and it's windy. So when it's windy and outside, then the flag is fluttering, moving, right? So very much alive, that kind of thing. So the Shi is also alive, living, like that. Yeah. It depends on your mind. If your mind is like jumping, very jumpy, then maybe the fluttering is very strong too. But if your mind is quite calm, then even though it moves, the moving is also calm. So the reason here is basically we are trying to get hold of our mind, okay, our mental awareness or mind consciousness. Okay, let's call it consciousness for a lack of better word, okay, consciousness. It would be tam in Vietnamese language, or in sem in Tibetan, or chitta in Sanskrit. But in English, we have to juggle between mind, consciousness, mental stream. So we don't have an exact word for sem in English. So therefore, we have to juggle between many different words. So for this purpose, we will call it consciousness. Okay. So consciousness means all form of any form of the representation of all form of your mind. Yeah. So that is the letter Shi. That is the letter Shi. So your mind or your consciousness, this is represented by the letter Shi. Now above your head, like maybe 4 inches or 5 inches, like that, above your head, above your crown. Now above, outside, okay, above, not inside, above your head. Visualize. So there's a long description, but basically whatever you're going to do is you're going to visualize Amitabha Buddha on your head, not touching to your head, but like few inches above your head. So Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is sitting on a throne. So I'm not going to go into the whole detail. Sitting on a throne, supported by 4 lions, etc., etc. So basically, there is Amitabha Buddha. The main thing is the Amitabha Buddha is in the Nirmanakaya form, the Tulku form, which means emanation form. Basically means he's in the form of a fully clad monastic robes. Okay, a monk. That is the Tulku. Amitabha is in the monastic robes. Then Amitabha is flanked on his 2 sides by Manjushri and Vajrapani. So they are in the enjoyment body. What is it called? The Manakaya, and then Sambhogakaya. Yeah, enjoyment body. So basically that means in the appearance, in the form of a celestial body, like a god. So they are celestial enjoyment body usually is dressed in the finest clothes, most beautiful, like a very royal attire, luxurious, and all these things. Celestial form. So Manjushri Manjushri and Vajrapani on his either side.
Rinpoche lah.
Yeah,
Manjushri or Chenjerik lah.
I'm so sorry, Genesik. I'm sorry, Genesik. So Genesik on the right and Vajrapani on the left. Genesik and Vajrapani are flanked. On his true side is right side Genesik, left side is Vajrapani. Okay, Genesik for compassion, Vajrapani for power or potential. They are in the form of enjoyment body, meaning in a celestial form, that of a royal attire. So just tell you a little bit background why that is there. Why the main deity, principal deity in the Nirmanakaya form and the monk form and Nirmanakaya form, and then the two other deities, which is secondary, right? They are in the Sambhogakaya form. Why is it that? So if you remember, I mean, there's a three Buddha bodies or three enlightened bodies, the Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya, right? And so basically the three bodies, the truth body or the Dharmakaya, the Dharma body is something that is to be recognized, something to be realized, or something to be achieved. You cannot, I cannot see your Dharmakaya, basically. I have to achieve my own Dharmakaya, right? And then the Sambhogakaya is the body that appears to all the enlightened beings, to the only to the high-level bodhisattvas. So Sambhogakaya is not accessible to ordinary beings. So for that reason, in order to help sentient beings, the Buddha appear in the ordinary form, which is the form of Nirmanakaya. Okay, so there's the first, yeah. So I'm saying in general, okay. So truth body can be achieved only personally. Sambhogakaya or the enjoyment body is accessible only to high level. So therefore, in order to help the rest of the sentient beings, Buddha appear in the Nirmanakaya. So Nirmanakaya basically means the accessible form. Okay, I mean it means emanation body. But why Buddha comes in the emanation form is because the Buddha wants to make himself or herself accessible to all the sentient beings. So therefore, Amitabha Buddha appearing in the Nirmanakaya means Amitabha makes himself, even though his real body, ultimate body is the truth body, and he actually appears in the Sambhogakaya, but Sambhogakaya is not visible for us, so therefore he appears in the Nirmanakaya, with basically the form that is accessible to all of us. So when you die or when you're trying or when you're practicing to go to this pure land of the Amitabha Buddha, then Amitabha Buddha coming in the form of Nirmanakaya makes himself accessible to you, like seeing your own guru, which you see in your living time. It's very accessible like that. If you think, how many of you have seen Jerisik, or how many of you have seen, let's say, Tara? Some of you may have seen, some of you may not have seen, but very rare, right? But monks, you see often. So therefore, making himself more accessible to you, especially when you're at a very weak moment at the time of death, then you cannot think of too many things. So only the things that you have seen and familiar in this lifetime will be easy for you to visualize. So therefore, the main deity comes in the Nirmanakaya form. And the other two Buddhas, Manjushri and Vajrapani. So I say Buddha here. So sometimes Manjushri and Vajrapani and Chandrasik and all these things are referred to as Bodhisattva, sometimes as Buddha. Okay. So usually during Buddha's lifetime, in the sutras, if you read the sutras, it says Bodhisattva Manjushri, Bodhisattva Chandrasik, etc., etc. But in the Tantra, it talks about the Buddha Manjushri like that. So basically, it's two different. It's the same person, but appearing in different form for different purposes. Okay. In essence, in truth, Manjushri is a Buddha. enlightened, already enlightened. Even before Shakyamuni Buddha was enlightened. Okay, even before Shakyamuni Buddha become a bodhisattva, Manjushri is already enlightened. But during Buddha's time, during Buddha Shakyamuni's time, 2,600 years ago, he and Acharya Sikh and all these Buddhas came in the form of bodhisattva, a monk, and a bodhisattva, like that. So you see, if you read different books, sometimes you hear them as bodhisattva, sometimes as a Buddha. So which one is true? So therefore, yeah. So anyway, so they appear in the Sambhogakaya form, Avalokiteshvara and Vajrapani. Why? Because the Sambhogakaya, in the Sambhogakaya form, you can express yourself in different, you can express whatever you want to, you want to teach, you want to show. So therefore, Acharya Sikh can express compassion and Vajrapani can express power and strength in the form of Sambhogakaya. Just an example, if someone is, even whether true or not, if someone is dressed up in the full gear, a full military gear with the gun and the protection, the bulletproof and the boots and the gun and all the military gears out there, and you're very well dressed, then you will think, oh, that's a professional army man, a professional military person, and you will identify that as a ready to fight, combat ready, etc. If someone is wearing robes, you will think that is a monk. If someone is wearing a stethoscope, then you will think it's a doctor, etc., etc. Right? So like that, the exact expression of Vajrapani appearing as a very strongly built man carrying Vajra, which is a form of a weapon in ancient time. So carrying all these things, so it makes him look very superior, very powerful, strong, which is to represent the power of all the Buddhas. And the same goes with, and then the Acharya Sikh is totally like the opposite, where it's very calm. Vajrapani is fierce and wrathful. And then like an army man. And then Acharya Sikh is like a doctor, very calm, dressed in so like doctor comes in a white dress. Acharya Sikh is fully white color, and then calm, and he's holding the lotus, which makes him very peaceful. You know, even in today's time, if a man, not a woman, but like a man is usually considered, you know, more aggressive or masculine, as we call it. But if a man is holding a flower, that man, it will calm down the appearance. Let's say a very angry man. Just try to picture a very angry, aggressive-looking man, but he's holding a flower. That just by holding the flower, a lotus flower or any flower, it kind of calms down the appearance of that aggressive-looking man, right? So Acharya Sikh carrying the flower, etc., makes him calm, and calm is related to compassion, right? So like that, that's why the Acharya Sikh and the Vajrapani appear in the Sambhogakaya form. Okay. So after this, basically, you go through the prayer booklet, which is which on the Powa, which so it outlines all the different things. But okay, I'm just gonna summarize. So what you're gonna do now? You have the three principal deities, right? Amitabha in the center, Acharya Sikh and Vajrapani on the right and left. So now these three principal deities are circled by all the lineage masters, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions are also circling around them. And so visualize like that. And so basically you keep, you come to that point, and then you keep reciting the prayer, which says Bhagwan Tathagata Arahat. So basically you pray from the bottom of your heart very intensely to Amitabha Buddha. Okay? To pray to the Amitabha Buddha, then you make prostrations to the Amitabha Buddha, Amitabha Buddha and basically um, the whole merit field, right? Amitabha Buddha, Genesik, the whole the whole the whole group, and then first pray, second prostration, third making offerings. So you do that, and when you keep doing that, when you keep practicing making offerings, prostrations, etc., like that, and you recite the prayer saying, I take refuge in the Amitabha Buddha, I make offerings to you, I make prostration, etc., like that. And when you keep saying this thing, then repeatedly say that, and also think from your heart, like give total surrender to Amitabha Buddha and all the Buddhas. So by doing so, your heart melts. Mm. Your mind is no longer rigid, hard. It becomes soft, mellow, like that. And then slowly your mind becomes malleable, becomes easy to move and easy to. So your mind before is like a rock hard. Now with many, many, many prayers, repeatedly doing the prayer and the offering and the prostrations from your heart, your mind becomes more and more malleable, soft, and like that. Mm. Now, as you keep repeatedly praying to Amitabha and the circle of all the Buddhas and the Bodhisattva, basically, you keep praying. At the same time, from the back of your mind, uh, focus on the letter Shri at your heart, which is the representation of your consciousness. So while you are doing very deep from deep of your depth of your heart, you are doing the prayer. At the same time, from one set of mind, if you are doing your prayer and you are cooking, you are maybe boiling a milk or cooking something in the kitchen, even though you are doing your prayer, your mind often goes there and think about, okay, is the milk boiling or not, right? So like that, even though you are praying like with a very deep motivation to the Amitabha Buddha and the rest of the merit field. At the same time, one part of your mind is also focused on the letter Shi at your heart, which is the representation, which is not even saying representation is not the right word because you have to think that letter Shi is basically your mind. It's not the representation. It is your mind. It is your consciousness. So you have to believe, you have to visualize, you have to think that you have to believe that the letter C is none other than your mind. Okay. So that way, yeah. So you have to believe that the letter C is your mind.
Yep.
Focus on that. Keep thinking about that often when you are doing the prayer. So as you keep praying, you focus on the letter C at your heart, which is your mind, your consciousness. Then at the same time, then now when it's time to transfer, doing the Powa means to transfer. So when it's time to do the actual uh, ejection, right, of the consciousness. Now you recite the letter Shi, Shi, like that. So 5 times. So Shi, like that. Slowly, slowly. So as you keep saying Shi, like that, the letter Shi at your heart, at your chest, slowly is being pushed up. Pushed up by what? Pushed up by that bindu of energy. The red bindu, the green bindu, which represents the energy, the wind energy within your body. So in Tantra, there's a term in the sutra. Usually we talk about the mind and the matter, or the mind and the body being totally different thing. But in Tantra, the mind and body are like many times intertwined. And usually we say, okay, our thoughts can go anywhere, but our body cannot go through the wall, this and that. Our physical body cannot go through the wall, cannot do this and that, right? This is what we say in Sutra. But in Tantra, actually for the mind to travel anywhere, it needs the energy, it needs the physical energy. So without the physical, there is no uh, uh, um, the psychological attributes cannot move or get involved in anything without the help from the physiological, the physical support. So for the psychology to do anything, the physiology is necessary. So mind is totally dependent on the body in that sense. So anyway, so my point here is that we will talk about this later, some other time. But the main thing is the Shi, which is your mind, is being pushed up by your body or a part of your body, which is the Bindu, the energy, the wind energy. So the physiological potential of the wind energy is pushing the psychological aspect of the mind. So as you keep saying Shi, like that, the Bindu is pushing the Shi, which is your mind, which is your consciousness, slowly and slowly all the way up to the Brahma, the aperture, the opening at the crown, all the way up to that. And as the Shi keeps moving from the chest to the crown, when you're repeatedly reciting Shi like that, at the same time, the Shi should be vibrating. Have you seen? You might have seen the launch of a rocket, space shuttle, going to the moon or whatever. Space shuttle when it's launched from the Earth, and then when it's moving up, lifting up, there's so much vibration there. You see, yeah, like that. So slowly the letter Shi is vibrating like that, all the way up to the crown. So from here to the chest to the crown, it goes up like slowly. Then when it reaches the crown, then you have to eject or shoot, okay? Shoot the letter Shi from your crown to the heart of Amitabha Buddha in his Pure Land. So now when you do that, what you have to say is you have to make the sound of a hiccup, like that. So when you hiccup, like that. So you have to say that hic, okay? So here it said hic. So basically it's hiccup. So when you say say like that, that time the consciousness, which has gone all the way from chest to the crown, is resting on the crown. Now it just lifts off like a rocket launch. So here in the text, usually it says like an arrow being shot by a very powerful man, right? So the more powerful you are, you can bend the bow of the arrow much further, and that way the arrow can go further. The arrow, the strength, the power of the arrow will be much stronger, right? That way. So just like this is explained in the traditional. That's how it's always explained in traditionally. But in today's time, you can think of like a rocket being launched, as I said again earlier. So when if you see the space shuttle, it goes up slowly like that, and then after some time, then it just shoots, right? When it reaches a certain level, then it just goes very fast. First, it kind of like goes up very slowly. When the rocket is being launched, it goes up very slowly, and then it just shoots out of the atmosphere, whatever. So like that, like a very an arrow being pulled by a very strong man. The bows of the bow strings being pulled by a very strong man. So that is the traditional explanation. So basically, from the crown, it shoots directly to the heart of Amitabha Buddha. And at the same time, you have to say, like that. So here in the book says that so basically you do it three times, 7 times, 21 times, etc. like that. So here in this book, it says that in general practices, when you say the hic, so there's a hic, there's a ka sound, right? So you say hic or he when the consciousness goes up, and then when the consciousness comes back, you have to say the ka. Why the consciousness comes back? Because if you don't bring the consciousness back, then that means you are dead. Basically, your mind and your body is separate means you are dead, right? So in general practices, you say hik, the consciousness goes out, the consciousness emits from the crown, and then after that, it has to come back. So when it comes back, you have to say ka, hik, ka, right? So the ka is when you say, when you come back. This is the general practice. But here in the, Dza Patrul Rinpoche here, for this particular practice here, during this practice here, there is no ka, there is no coming back. The consciousness goes to the Amitabha's heart, and then that's it. So there is no ka for return. It's hik all the way to the Amitabha's land, Amitabha's heart. So 7 times, 21 times means, so you shoot your consciousness. Your consciousness means you, okay? Because, you are not your body, your mind, you're this and that, right? Remember? So what constitute as you, or let's say Tongkhor Rinpoche, is my mind, my consciousness, right? So when I shoot my consciousness from my body, then I've shot myself, Tongkhor Rinpoche itself, from my body. So Tongkhor Rinpoche and Tongkhor Rinpoche's body are separate now. If I shoot my consciousness from my body, if I emit, if I transfer my mind from my body, then Tongkhor Rinpoche himself is separate from the body. Okay, so when my mind is inside my body, then I can say Tongkhor Rinpoche is in Tongkhor Rinpoche's body, right? But if consciousness is out, then that body is no longer Tongkhor Rinpoche's body, or it's separate. I have not only transferred or transmitted, emitted, or ejected my consciousness from my body, but I've ejected myself from the cockpit of my body. So body is like the cockpit of the what do you call that thing? The army military flight. What do you call there's the navy, there is the army. What do you call those who fight in the air? Anyway, so you understand what I'm saying.
Air Force, Air Force.
Air Force, yes, Air Force. Yeah. So like an Air Force. So the she is like the pilot, and the body is the cockpit of the plane, right? So during the time of Powa, the cockpit. So you press the eject button, and then the seat is ejected from the cockpit of the plane, right? So the pilot. So the letter C is the consciousness, letter C is the pilot himself. And when you press the eject button, then the pilot is ejected from, the fighter jet, yes. So like a fighter jet, aircraft, right? Military aircraft. So when you press the eject button, the pilot is ejected from the cockpit of the plane. So now the cockpit, the plane is our body. The pilot is us. The pilot is the letter she. The pilot is our consciousness, like that. So eject, or she. So hik is the eject sound. So when you say the hik, then the body is ejected from the cockpit of the aircraft. So this is just an example, yeah. So practice 7 times means, so practice from the beginning where you pray to the Amitabha Buddha. Then as you keep praying, your heart becomes very soft, you're mellow, your heart becomes in the term we use is moistening, moist, like become wet, moistening. So moistening of the heart. So your heart becomes very mellow, and then you start remembering the kindness of teacher, kindness of the Buddha, all these things, and the suffering of sentient beings. Basically, you start thinking of all these things, and at the same time, you keep focusing on the letter she. your heart, and keep doing that. And then when you are ready, then you keep saying Shri, Shri, Shri 5 times. And as you keep repeating 5 times, slowly and slowly, the Bindu pushes the Shri, which is the Shri, which is your mind, which is your consciousness, which is the pilot, which is yourself, slowly being pushed to the crown. And then at the crown, when you are ready, you emit, eject, transfer, transmit with the sound like that. And then immediately it's being shot. Okay, yourself, the letter C, your mind, whatever you call it, it's being shot to the Amitabha's heart like that. So you have to do this 7 times, 21 times like that, this whole procedure. Yeah. Because this is the part of the training. Now, for the prayer, to pray to the Amitabha Buddha, so what kind of prayer you're supposed to do? So it's on the next page. In English, it's on page 363. So the Dza Patrul Rinpoche says, follow this condensed transference prayer called inserting the grass stalk. Okay, so grass stalk is a reference to the central channel. So anyway, written by the treasurer, discoverer Nida Sangye, and transmitted through the lineage of the Dzogchen monastery like that. So the prayer goes like this: Amitabha Buddha, I prostrate before you, Padmasambhava of Odhyana. I pray to you, gracious root teacher, hold me with your compassion. Root and the lineage teachers guide me on the path. Bless me that I may master the profound path of Powa-transference. Bless me that this short path of Powa-transference may take me to the realm of celestial enjoyment. Bless me and others that celestial enjoyment here refers to Pure Land. All the beings, all the sentient beings who are born in any individual that is born in any Pure Land of the Buddha, any Buddha, Medicine Buddha Pure Land, Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, Genesis Pure Land, Potala, etc. They all come in, they are born as celestial beings. Celestial being, usually we refer to them as gods. We have human, hell, God, like that. So basically, when you're born in the Pure Land, you turn into a god. So celestial enjoyment. Bless me and others that as soon as this life is over, we may be reborn in the land of great bliss. Land of great bliss is the name of the Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha, like that. So this is the short prayer you do. So basically, you do this prayer, then 5 times saying the letter Shri, and then emitting the consciousness by saying like that. Then you'd have to do this whole thing 7 times, 3 times, 7 times, 21 times, and then like that. This is the training. You have to train before you die. If you don't train before you die, you cannot put into application. So when you are alive right now, you practice this, and then when you die, you will be able to do the Powa yourself. Dza Patrul Rinpoche here actually introduced 2 different prayers. Okay, another one is also there. So I'm not going to read this. So he said either do the one we just mentioned or another one also. So one is from the Dzogchen lineage, the other one is from the Pelul tradition or the lineage. So 2 different lineages, but basically the same goal. So you, Dza Patrul Rinpoche says you can do you have to you do this and then you do that one like that. So I'm not going to go through all this because it's different lineages. I mean, it's the same method, but coming from different lineages. Yeah. So in Nyingma tradition, mainly there are 3 sort of lineages. Ka Pel Dzog Sum. Ka is Kato, Pel is Pelyul, and Dzog is Dzogchen. So there's 3 streams, 3 great streams of lineage or monasticism is there, tradition is there. So within those 3 stream, there are many sub-streams and subsect, etc. like that. But the main is Ka Pel Dzog, Katok, Pelul, and Dzogchen. So one is from the Pelul Dzogchen and one is from the Pelul. Actually, the Pelul one is very short. Maybe I will read it. So the Peiyu one, I will just read it. So it's much simple. Emaho, which means marvelous or marvelous. Most marvelous protector Amitabha, great compassionate one, which means Genesis, and powerful Vajrapani, or that's Vajrapani himself, with one pointed mind, full concentration. For myself and others, I beseech you, I request you, bless us that we may master the profound path of transference, Powa. Bless us that when the time comes for us to die, our consciousness may be transferred to the state of great bliss. This is very simple. Yeah. So Patrul Rinpoche was saying do these three sort of sets of prayers. One is the Bhagavan Tathagata Arahat, utterly perfect Buddha protector Amitabha, I prostrate before you, I make offerings to you, I make refuge, this and that. Let's say this line and do the hik and the whole procedure 3 times. And after that, do the Dzogchen way, the Dzogchen tradition way, Buddha Amitabha, I prostrate before you, again say 3 times. Then do the Pelul lineage prayer, and then do it 3 times. So basically the method is same. The lineage prayer is different. So if you do it 3 times, that's 9. If it's 7 times, then 21. So you know, it depends on your leisure and all that. Yeah. So now when you are finished, when you are done with the Shri and the Hik, which is to eject the mind, eject that mind consciousness from your body to the Amitabha Buddha's heart. Then after doing as many as you like and you can, now to end it, now to conclude the prayer, you have to say pet like 5 times, like pet, like that 5 times. So this kind of that is the 5 kayas, 5 Buddhas of the 5 enlightened bodies of the Buddha. So it represents the 5 enlightened bodies of the Buddha. And so what happens is when you eject the body from the ordinary body, when you eject that consciousness from the ordinary body to the Amitabha's body, Amitabha's heart, it will not remain there because we are still ordinary beings. It will come back, right? So now to seal it off, now to make sure that it stays there, you have to do to seal off. You have to say pet 5 times. That is that is to resemble the 5 Gaya, the 5 enlightened bodies of the Buddha. So the Shri you can just say slowly like that, but Hik you have to say it loud, Hik like that, and then Pet also we have to say it loud, Pet like that. Okay. So do it in your home. If you say it publicly, if you say fat, people may get angry. So now the concluding, right? So you have to say pet 5 times and then that's the conclusion. Now, before doing anything, stay in the state of equanimity without thinking anything, okay? Don't think about the past, what have you done, this and that. Don't try to anticipate what you're going to do in the future. Just be, just remain, just stay. So without contriving anything, without creating any thought, don't try to pull back your memories. Don't try to, push forward to the future. Just be. Whatever your thoughts come, let them go. Don't stick with that. Just be like that. So stay in equanimity as long as you like, you can. Yep. Yeah. Now, all the lineage teachers and the Buddhas, all the circling Buddha, Bodhisattva, the teacher, everything dissolve into the 3 main deity, the 3 main deity, Amitabha Buddha, Genesis, and Vajrapani. Genesis and Vajrapani dissolve into Amitabha. Amitabha dissolve into light, just becomes a form of an orb of light. And then that light, which is Amitabha, enters you, dissolves into you. And the moment Amitabha dissolves into you, immediately you become Amitabha Buddha. You have to visualize yourself as an Amitabha Buddha, red, 1 face, 2 hand, 2 leg, sitting in the Vajra position, hand resting in the meditated position, holding an alms bowl filled with the nectar of immortality and topped with the wish granting tree. Yeah. And then he is wearing the 13 Sambhogakaya ornaments. Basically, that means Amitabha Buddha, you turn into Amitabha Buddha, but Amitabha Buddha in the form of, in the Sambhogakaya form, in the enjoyment body, not in the Nirmanakaya form. So usually we call him Amitayus. Amitabha is the monk. Amitayus is the celestial Amitabha. So Amitabha is the Nirmanakaya form. Amitayus is the celestial form, Sambhogakaya form. So Amitabha, I've sent a picture of Amitayus in the group now. Amitabha Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, main difference is one is Sambhogakaya, one is Nirmanakaya. Nirmanakaya is in the form of a monastic, a monk, and Sambhogakaya in the form of celestial being, royal, like a king, like a god, like that. And the main difference also is in the vase that the Amitabha Buddha, because he's a monk, he's carrying the alms bowl, the begging bowl, okay, filled with nectar. But Amitayus is not carrying an alms bowl because he's not a monk. He's not in the form of a monk. So he's in the form of a royal being, royal individual, royal celestial god. He's holding a vase, like a cup in today's time. So the vase is filled with the nectar, and it's topped. The nectar is topped with some plant. So that plant is actually none other than the wish-fulfilling tree. So wish-fulfilling tree means whatever material wish you have, money, you want baby, you want money, you want position, you want anything materialistic, you pray to that wish-fulfilling tree, the tree will grant you. So that is the main difference in terms of the implements, the objects that they hold. Amitayus holds the alms bowl, the begging bowl of a monk. Amitabha holds the begging bowl of the monk. Amitayus holds the vase that is filled with nectar, that is same, but topped with the wish-fulfilling tree. And of course, there's the main difference, Amitabha Buddha is wearing the monastic robes, the 3 robes of the monk, and Amitayus is in the royal attire, like the brocade silk, brocade, jewels, like the crown of a king, all these things. So those are the differences too. So you remember the mantra for the Amitabha Buddha is Om Amideva Shri, Om Amideva Shri, Om Amideva Shri, like that. So mantra for Om Amitayus Buddha is Om Amarana Jivantiye Soha. That's the mantra. So now what you have to do is, because you have separated your body and the mind, your consciousness and your body has been separated at least 3 times, 7 times, 21 times. You have been doing this many times. So when you do that, when you separate the mind and the body, if the mind and the body are separate and do not come back, that means you are dead. Okay, that's it. That is very simple. Mind and body separate, dead. Okay. So therefore, you have been practicing death. When you are practicing Powa, you are practicing death. You are separating your mind and body over and over and over again. So when you keep whatever you practice, it becomes easy and close to you, right? So when you practice death so many times, then death becomes close to you. Death become close to you means you get closer and closer to dying. Okay, so and most of us are not ready to die yet, even though death is getting closer. So therefore, in order to extend our life, okay, we have to recite the long life mantras. So in this particular case, the long life mantra of Amitayus Buddha, Om Amarana Jivantiye Soha. So at least 100 times, like 1 round of mala. Okay, you have to do this 100 times, right? At least 100 times. That will help you because of the power of the mantra, okay? Because of the, we call this the truth of interdependency. So interdependency, right? So, because of the power of the mantra, okay, your life will be extended. Okay, extended meaning you're not going to live longer than what you already are going to live. But because you practice the Powa practice, as I said, Powa sounds very good because when you phrase it like Powa, it sounds like going to the Buddha's pure land, this and that, very nice. But at the same time, Powa means death. When your mind ejects from your body, you are dead. So practicing Powa means practicing death, right? So practicing playing with death, dangerous. So therefore, it shortens your life. So that whatever life has been shortened is being straightened out. You have a cloth, it's all wrinkled, and you iron it out, it becomes to the original sort of shape. So whatever life has been crumpled or shortened, you iron it out with the long life mantra, and then it becomes normal, like that. This last part is not necessary. It says when you perform Powa for a dying person or someone who is already dead. Yes, because if someone is already dead, then you cannot extend their life. No need to. Death, right? Death. So when you die on your own, if someone is dying and you're doing the Powa, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do the long life mantra. If you die, you don't have to do the long life mantra because you're already dead now. You don't have to come back and live long because now you have to live a new life, right? That's a different life. This is not necessary. And it says that the sign of this practice is described by, in the root text, it says the head starts to headache, and at the crown, there will be a tiny drop of a serum, like a liquid, comes from your head. And then a grass stalk can slowly be pushed in through that. So that is the sign of the one being accomplished in the Powa practice. So until those signs comes, you must practice hard. And so here it says that unlike the other practices of the generation practice, the completion practice, like Kirim and Zorim, generative and the perfection practice, these instruction on the Powa is simple, do not require a long training period. So therefore, it's called the teaching that brings Buddhahood without any meditation. So that's why, and everyone, I'm reading from the book, okay? That is why everyone should take this unsurpassable shortcut as their daily practice. Yeah. So the main point is, if you practice this, it's good. And then if you practice this, then you must make sure that you always do the long life prayer at the end, okay? So to extend your life. This concludes the Powa practice. And I think next week we can actually conclude the whole scope of the words of my perfect teaching. Yeah, words of my perfect teacher. We will, yeah. The next session will not be next week because I will be on the move and I cannot attend the teaching next week. But the week after that, I will finish the book, Words of My Perfect Teacher. So if you have any question, you can put here. I think there's one question for you, Mr. Hong, about the book. So they're asking about how to get the book in Vietnamese, I think. Actually, Trang has sent it in English, but I think they want the Vietnamese one. So maybe you can respond to that, like how to get the book. Yeah. So just to, yeah. So basically, the whole teaching is over. So the next session, we will conclude what we have learned. And so basically, like in a few 3 or 4 pages, we will try to refresh our memory of what we just learned, to summarize what we have learned. Yeah. So the actual teaching is actually complete, over, finished.
Yeah. Rinpoche, there's one question about the ka sound. Ka sound.
So what is kasa?
Yeah. Rinpoche said that we use a ka to recall the mind to come back to our body.
Okay.
Yeah.
The ka sound. So when you say hic, right? So at the bottom, when you say hic, last word is ka, right? There's a small ka there, right? Hic. ka there. So Patrul Rinpoche here says that in general practice, the ka is used to bring back the mind. But in this particular practice, in this lineage that Patrul Rinpoche is describing, you don't have to bring back the mind. So the ka, you don't have to use the ka separately. You just use the ka in one line with hik, like that. So in other tradition, they say hik ka, like that. So hik ka, so goes to the Amitabha Buddha, and then comes back to the mind. One's body. But in this particular practice, don't have to. Yeah. And I will have some more to add. So please first translate this one. This version is a very condensed version. It's not the, like, let's say, the most popular Powa practice. Okay. So the Powa practice in general, the most popular one comes from the Gergyu tradition. And so I didn't read this part, but there's one page 364. It's kind of fully dedicated to different lineages of the Powa practices. This from this lineage, this Rinpoche, this and that. So Patrul Rinpoche actually specified all of that. So I didn't read it because it's going to be very complicated. So if you like, you can go to that book and read it. Yeah. It's page 364 in English. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Any more questions?
The Vietnamese question has been shown by Mr. Chang. Yeah.
Okay.
Already. Yeah.
Ms. Chang. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this concludes the teaching, and this also concludes, I believe this is the last teaching of this year as well.
Yeah.
So so don't want to take too much time. Just want to say that I'm very grateful that being able to share this teaching, whatever little I know. I'm not an expert on this whole book, and I'm not an expert, especially on the Powa part. But I just shared what little I know, and I'm very glad that to do so. And then I'm very happy that all of you could attend this. I admire and acknowledge, admire, and appreciate your participation, your interest, your attention, paying attention to the Dharma. And then I pray that all of us will be able to successfully practice what we have learned, and we will be able to accomplish the visions or the aspirations of Patrul Rinpoche by reading this book. Yeah. Okay. Then that's all. Let's do the dedication now. Yewa di nyodo da lama sangye zhogyo ne zhowa jeyang ma le kege sala ge bara sho janjo zemjo zembo je ma ye banam ge gyuro yewa nyamba me bara yang kone kondo be wara sho mi Lord, sign time, be shy, my soul, my Lord, sign time, be shy, my soul, Timbe, Ningbo, Zimbe, Bema, Shin, Lamon, Don Yu, Gunan, Changju. Thank
you, Jiwajala Chela.
Thank you, Miss Wong. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mujela. Thank you, Jela.
Thank you, Mr. Hong. Yeah, thank you.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Kính thưa thầy.
Rinpoche.
Kính thưa thầy.
Yes.
Kính thưa
Vâng ạ,
thầy.
chị anh
Tiên
nói
tri
đi ạ.
Rinpoche là tới đây
Thank
là
you.
cần
Rinpoche là
Yes,
Rinpoche
please.
là Rinpoche
Yes.
là Mr. Wang, on behalf of all the students, would like to express deep gratitude to Rinpoche La for spending all of time and effort and knowledge to teach us during the last year. So we would like to express our deep gratitude to Rinpoche La. And because Rinpoche will travel next week, and on the week after that will be the birthday on 10th of January. So we would like to request Rinpoche to spare one evening so that we can meet up with Rinpoche again in the new year to express our thanks to Rinpoche and also to congratulate Rinpoche in the new year and also your birthday, so that Rinpoche please spare one evening, so that we can meet up with you again. And we would like to express our best wishes for Rinpoche La, and we wish Rinpoche always healthy, happy, and long life, and all the dynamic activity will be successful. Rinpoche La.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, sure. We can do that. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you Rinpoche là. Cảm
Thank you.
ơn
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Xin cảm ơn